The neon-soaked rain fell in sheets across Neo-Tokyo's lower districts, where Jackson crouched beside a flickering maintenance hatch. His calloused hands worked quickly, replacing corroded circuits in the city's ancient power grid. Most mechanics refused jobs in Sector 7 anymore. Too dangerous, they said. Too close to where the discarded went to die. That's when he heard it. A soft whirring sound, barely audible above the rain's percussion against metal rooftops. Jackson's head turned toward the alley's darkness. His scanner visor activated automatically, painting the world in thermal signatures. There, half buried beneath refuse and broken machinery, something glowed with residual heat. Not something, someone. He approached cautiously. The figure was small, feminine, curled into a defensive position against the alley wall. Her body was a patchwork of human flesh and cybernetic components, but not the sleek, expensive kind that corpo executives flaunted. These were salvaged parts, mismatched and desperate. Exposed circuitry sparked weakly along her left arm. Her optical implant flickered between blue and red, struggling to maintain power. "Hey," Jackson said softly, kneeling at a safe distance. "Can you hear me?" The girl's head lifted slowly. Beneath the grime and damaged plating, she couldn't have been more than 20. Her remaining human eye was bright green, wide with fear and something else. Resignation. "Don't," she whispered, her voice glitching between human vocal cords and a damaged synthesizer. "They'll fine you for talking to defects." Jackson's jaw tightened. He'd heard the term before. Defects. Cyborgs whose modifications had been rejected by the integration protocols, leaving them unable to interface with the city's networks, unemployable, invisible, disposable. "What's your name?" he asked, ignoring her warning. She hesitated as if the question itself was foreign. "Anna, they called me Anna, before the rejection." "Anna," Jackson repeated, making it real. "I'm Jackson, and I'm getting you out of here." Her optical implant flared. "You can't. The enforcers won't find us." He extended his hand. "I'm not from here. Not really. I've got a ship in the orbital yards. Old freighter, but she flies. And up there?" He pointed toward the perpetually smog-choked sky. "Nobody cares about corpo classifications." Anna stared at his hand like it was a weapon. "Why would you help me? Humans don't." "This human does." Jackson's voice carried an edge of something fierce. "You know what I've learned traveling the galaxy? Humanity isn't about pure genetics or original parts. It's about choice. Compassion. The things we do when nobody's watching and there's nothing to gain." He kept his hand extended. "So what do you choose, Anna?" Her fingers trembled as they met his, the cybernetic ones on her left hand surprisingly warm despite the metal. Jackson pulled her up gently, noting how light she was. How much of her had they carved away? The journey through Neo-Tokyo's underbelly was treacherous. Jackson led Anna through maintenance tunnels he'd mapped during previous repairs, avoiding surveillance networks and patrol routes. His arm stayed around her waist when her damaged leg servos sparked and failed. She didn't speak much, but her grip on his jacket grew tighter with each close call. At the spaceport, Jackson used every trick he'd learned in 15 years of freelance work. Falsified manifests, bribed guards, a maintenance elevator that technically didn't exist on any official schematics. Anna's optical implant had stopped flickering. She was shutting down, her power cells depleted. "Stay with me," Jackson urged as they crossed the hangar toward his ship. The Perseverance wasn't much to look at. A battered Prometheus-class freighter with more patches than original hull, but her engines were solid, and she'd carried him across half the known systems. Inside, he laid Anna on the medical bay's examination table. His hands moved with practiced efficiency, connecting her cybernetic components to the ship's power supply. The Perseverance hummed to life around them, her fusion core feeding energy into Anna's failing systems. Color returned to Anna's human features. Her optical implant stabilized, glowing a steady amber. She gasped, sitting upright, her hand flying to her chest. "Easy," Jackson said. "Your systems were at 3%. You're charging now." Anna looked around the medical bay with wonder, at the equipment that actually worked, at the clean, organized space, at Jackson, who was already preparing nutrient supplements for her biological components. "I don't understand," she said. "You're risking your license, your citizenship, everything for someone you don't even know." Jackson smiled, the expression tired but genuine. "There's a saying out in the Rim territories. Humanity first doesn't mean humans only. It means we put being human, being kind, being decent before everything else. Before profit. Before laws that decide who deserves dignity. He met her mismatched eyes. You deserved better than that, Allie, Anna. Everyone does. Tears streamed down Anna's face, salt water mixing with synthetic coolant from her optical implant. Where will we go? Everywhere. Jackson activated the launch sequence and the Perseverance's engines thundered to life. Through the viewport, Neo-Tokyo's neon sprawl began to shrink below them. There are colonies out past the Saturn gates. Places where nobody cares what you're made of. Just what you can do. What you choose to be. He glanced at her. You any good with engines? Anna's lips curved into something that might become a smile given time. I don't know. I never got the chance to find out. Well then, Jackson said as the Perseverance broke through the atmosphere into the star-filled black. Let's find out together. Behind them, Earth became just another light among millions. Ahead, the galaxy stretched infinite and indifferent, which meant it was also infinite with possibility. Anna placed her hand against the viewport, both human and cybernetic fingers splayed against the glass. For the first time in years, she felt something she'd forgotten existed, hope, and humanity she was learning. Had always been best at nurturing that fragile thing, even in the darkest corners of space, even in the most damaged hearts. Because that's what humans did. They reached out. They lifted up. They said you matter to a universe that insisted otherwise. Jackson set course for the outer colonies, and the Perseverance carried them both toward whatever came next.